to Making a Door Less Open by Car Seat Headrest. It's 11 songs, 47 minutes long, and I have mixed feelings for this album for sure. Car Seat Headrest is a fun little indie band that they've been making music for a while now.
About a decade.
Yeah, about a decade. And the thing with them is that they make a lot of music. They release albums pretty constantly, maybe a year and a half, 2 years apart at most. I remember we did Twin Fantasy in 2018, and I did like that album a lot, actually. There's a couple songs like Bodies I still listen to a lot. Love that song. They're like known for, mixing that indie sound with kind of a grunge, early 2000s rock sound and mixing it up, make it higher pace, a little bit more friendly to the ears and stuff to it, and I like that. This album's definitely different in that regard. The first two songs, they experimented throughout the album with using more electronic instruments and stuff on it. And the first two songs, you can definitely hear that. And whoa, it's different. Weightlifters, first minute I hated because it was really high pitched and just had this weird overtone going. I'm like, when is this going to end? And to kind of change into the song. And then it goes into the song. The lead singer has a very distinctive voice and whatnot. You can hear that throughout the album. And I didn't really like that first song. I'm like, okay, it's interesting. They're doing more synth sounds and whatnot. I haven't really heard them do much synth before, a little bit here and there, but not throughout an album. Let's see what happens. Fell flat for that first song, so that opening track kind of left me a little disappointed. Can't Cool Me Down, the second track, I did like a little bit more with it. I go, okay, the production's getting a little better. They're still experimenting with that sound. Let's see what happens. Then you have Deadlines, the third song, which then goes back to...
Deadline's Hostile, because there's another song called Deadline's Thoughtful.
That's true. Deadline's Hostile. It sounds like that could be put onto Twin Fantasy for sure. Like that's that typical Car Seat Headrest, upbeat, fast tempo rock, which I do like. It's fun. Hollywood is hilarious.
Hollywood's so hilarious.
I really like that song. It's the fourth song where it's like Hollywood makes me sick. Hollywood makes me want to throw up or something. Like that's hilarious. Like they just dog on it, and I start dying.
Like it definitely has the energy of Hollywood Freaks by Beck, or just
actually
satirizing the feeling of Hollywood. Although Beck took it in his like satirizing kooky way, and this is almost like not punk in sound at all, but punk and like
punk and tone
towards it.
And definitely like the vocal tone and stuff you can hear where they're just like so fed up with it. Like, why does everybody need to go to LA to make themselves, especially in music? Why does everyone want to be in Hollywood? This place is garbage. I go, yeah, pretty much. Can confirm. You have a Hymn remix, the one after that, which is okay. You have Martin, which I do like a bit.
I definitely like the second half of this
I was going to say,
and
I was about to say that. From Martin, basically to the end, minus the second to last song, There Must Be More Than Blood, which I'll get to in a second, I liked a lot more because this is when they refined that electronic sound that they put into their first two tracks, and they actually made it their own little thing.
Yeah, and Car Seat Headrest has had like synthesizers play throughout and like electronic things play throughout their albums in the past, because I went back to listen to it, and definitely in that one, Teens of Style.
Teens of Style?
I had it in a little bit of it myself, because I remember they'd had some of those sounds they're playing along with it. What they also had back then were like fucking 14-minute long songs.
But that's when they had like ballads, because Twin Fantasy, you saw them still have a couple of those 14-minute long ballads, but they started to shorten up their songs and make it a little less. And you can get that in the sense
a little more consumable. Yeah. Well, I know where you're gonna go with at least that song, but like since we're going in order, after Martin is Deadline's Thoughtful, which is my favorite thing. It's like a cross between Hosier and Justice.
That's my second favorite song on this album, and it's very, very, very good. I really like that song a lot. I thought that's the best of Car Seat Headrest, because this is the thing with Car Seat Headrest. They have so much in an album that it's kind of hard to pick and figure out what you want to listen to in it. But once you find that one thing and you fix on it, it's very, very good. Their songwriting is great. The lyricist, his voice can annoy me at times, but when he hits it out of the park. So that's the thing. It's like they're always hit and miss with me. But they're good. It's kind of like Tori and Ma in that way, where Tori and Ma makes either stuff that's kind of in that middle ground blandness, and then other songs, which are some of my favorite ever made. So it's kind of Car Seat Headrest is the indie version of that. Because I was thinking of this album, this reminds me of like Omaha or something from Tori Ma, where there's a couple tracks that were amazing on it, and the other ones are like, this is kind of boring.
That's fair.
That second half, amazing. I really like it. Minus There Must Be More Than Blood. I thought that song didn't need to exist on the album.
I love that song.
I didn't really like it that much.
Very much.
Because the problem is Famous, the ending track, is one of my favorite ending tracks of the entire year. Famous is a fucking good song. Really, really good. Where they mixed Famous, they mixed so many different sounds into one song that somehow made it cohesive and made it their own little thing at the same time. They mixed house, they mixed punk, they mixed garage, and they mixed trap all into one song and indie, and somehow made it work. Because there's a lot going on in Famous, but it's short. If they made it longer, I think it would have lost the point of it.
Yeah.
Before Ender, I go, wow, holy shit, this made me wanting more from them, wanting them to experiment even more than they already do. But it's fantastic. I don't know why I didn't like There Must Be More Than Blood. I might have to listen to it again, but
one of my friends heard There Must Be More Than Blood as a single and didn't like it, and then
yeah, but I did hear it as a single, so that might be why.
He heard it in the context of the album and listened to it a couple times, and he liked it significantly more. I like it. It's a very slow song. I think there's a lot of like passion that's like really apparent and it's really raw in there, and so that's what I really draw to it. That in like with that song, but I think it's a really good. That 1-2 punch of There Must Be More Than Blood. If you come around to liking the song, and Famous is really good. They complement each other without being songs that are even similar to each other, because they're
definitely very different.
Definitely kind of focused in what it is relatively to Famous for sure.
Yeah, it's a good album though in that regard, to where that second half is fantastic. I think that first half, it was funny because it felt like they were stepping on glass, trying to figure out what sound they wanted to make, because those first two songs are very different than a lot of their other work. And I go, okay, where are they trying to go with this? And they put in some stuff in the middle to where it sounded like their old stuff. And then once it gets to Martin Down, they're like, okay, we figured out this kind of sound we want to make within the album, and it's good. So I don't know if I still like Twin Fantasy a lot, but this is definitely, that second half is one of my favorite things that they've made recently. And I make a lot of music. Now, one thing for them for sure is take your time on your next album, especially with how much experimentation is going on. As I said, as I say a lot, I feel like a broken record, is take your time, make sure that you refine it enough to where there's definite deviations in each album that you make, but it still has your sound of you in it. So
yeah,
I mean, I have a lot of high hopes, even though that's a garbage fucking song. I will have a lot of high hopes for for Garcia Headrest. He did the stupid Pete Buttigieg dance for high hopes. If you ever did that in your life, I have really bad thoughts about you. Only satirically, right?
Arbitrary scale governors. I'm going to give
Cuomo.
This is a Cuomo.
This is Cuomo because they started off terrible and they end up doing some decent on it, but there's still some ness in the background. We're like, what's going on in the world? And you're still pretty shitty, but there's some goodness that you're doing in the world, kind of.
I'll go with that. He doesn't like, the only other governor I have real opinions about is Gavin Newsom. This is not Gavin Newsom.
He's
I have
definitely
opinions about
Newsom.
Gretchen Whitmer, and this is not Gretchen Whitmer.
It was that. Yeah.
Let's just go with that. It's
Cuomo.
an Andy Cuomo.
It's Andy Cuomo. Yeah.